We are live. All right, welcome everybody. I'm just going to be drawing some Phobos pages. At least I'll be trying to. I started sketching on this today to take my mind off of my cognitive drawing campaign. And yeah, it's helpful. It's helpful to do something else. So, anyway. So I'll just be sketching, don't mind me. Maybe I should have some people on. If anyone wants to come on, let me know. I'll post a link somewhere. Hey, John. And No One Comics. Comical Foods. It's been a while. Hey, do you guys want to actually come on to the stream and hang out? Then it's not just quiet. It's not just silence as my sketching is happening. At work right now. Aw. Come on, I mean like, hey Bob. I mean like, come on, like you can be one of the guests on it right now. I can throw out the link and you guys can jump on. It doesn't mean I'll put you on, but you'll be in the background and I can click on you so that you can come on. Here, let's figure this out. Give me 1 second. Need to get the invite link. Okay, you're gonna have to, I don't know how to throw it into, give me a second. There, it's public. Oh boy, I've never done this before. I've always handpicked my guests. So if anyone wants to jump on, feel free to jump on. I'll see you in the background, and then I'll throw you up on screen with me. And then we can talk, and I can hear you, and then it'll be fun. Until then, I'm trying to just figure out how to draw this. So Aninik must have found this. So this is Phobos. Aninik must have found an old crib in the castle, and so I'm trying to figure out: do I want to draw a crib, or do I want to make it? Do I want to make it more makeshift? It's not like the crib is a big part of the story. It's probably the only time you'll ever see it. And I don't know what this is over here. You know what? I need to find. Let me actually put this link in the chat so it's easier. You guys don't have to copy it. Give me a second. One more second. Okay, copy and paste. All right, there it is. There, it's in the comments. Hey, and there's Bob.
Hey, yeah.
Bob.
It works for me. I had to type it in.
Yeah, you did all the hard work. Okay, I put it in the comments too. So, hey Jim, welcome. Oh, I see someone else is here. RP Smith. Device not connected. Well, how you doing, Bob? What you up to? No sound. You're on mute somehow. I've been noticing you've been live streaming though.
Hey.
There you go.
Now? Okay. I don't know why I muted. I was actually trying to mute one of the two because I was getting a crazy cross echo. But hey, how you doing? Been a long time.
I know. It has been a long time.
I'm excited to watch you draw for a little bit.
I haven't done much of the live streaming because I just haven't even been drawing very much. It's
Oh,
weird.
that's okay.
All this year has been kind of business stuff, you know. So
That's less than fun.
yeah, it's weird. I worked on Phobos for the first half of the month of the first month of the year, and then after that, it was just like business planning and shipping Cithra and
Yeah, lots of
just
books
everything
going
else.
out, and then
Books,
your Kickstarter.
Kickstarters, working on the Shapes Kickstarter, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a lot of stuff.
Otherwise, are you holding up okay being stuck at home, or are you one of those
Yeah,
that doesn't get stuck at home?
I still come into my office, but it's always just me, you know. So
Yeah.
it's not like I have changed anything
Right.
really. I'm continuing to just be by myself like I always am.
Right. Ooh. So it really hasn't changed too much.
Yeah,
I suppose that's good.
it's
I suppose it's
it's
good.
just, you know, it's just inconveniences that in is really all it has done, you know, like going to the grocery store and stuff.
Yep, that's the big one. I despise shopping on a good day, much less adding a quarantine or a pandemic type of scenario
Yeah.
where you got to be worried about this, that. I just
Yeah.
have bring them out to the curb now,
Oh yeah.
and I
Oh,
wait
that's
in my
cool.
car. Yeah.
That's
Oh.
cool.
So tell me what you're doing, since I get to be the only one on here.
Yeah. Well, this is Phobos, so I think this is one of the previous spreads. And this is kind of what I'm going for, you know, trying to get it
Yeah,
nice
the
and
black and white, and
nice and lit. I still got to do a little bit, not lit as in the trendy, cool way of saying lit,
no, I
but
didn't
like
think
I
so.
still got to do this part in the middle. Why
Yeah.
can I do on it? You got to like light this part here,
Oh,
and maybe work on this a little bit more over here. I don't know, but what I'm trying to do is just get these pages. We'll finish 300 pages, which is these are. I'm probably at about 230 now, and because I'd love to get Phobos done by the end of this year and have it on Kickstarter. You know, do an actual campaign for it, or Indiegogo for the first 300-page book. And
oh, this is great. That the previous spread or panels you worked on there, that's really detailed. That's just a lot of stuff.
It's, you know, I think it's a lot of cheating. It's like the lighting makes it really look like it's more detailed than it is, but it's all sketchy,
Right.
You know? And so I learned that at DreamWorks that you would see these finished panels, these finished paintings hanging up on the walls, you know, and it just blows your mind from a distance. And you go up close and go, wow, this is so detailed. And you're like, oh, they just threw that together, but it looks good. And so it kind of made me realize that a quicker pace can be done,
Yeah.
you know? And so that's what I'm trying to do with Phobos. Because
Right.
I love working on it. I love the characters. I like drawing on it, but I don't want it to be a thing. It's literally going to be thousands of pages long. And so I don't want it to be a thing that takes me forever to finish one volume, you know?
Right. I have the question right now is she looks like she's putting an infant bug in bed. Am I reading that correct? No.
Kinda, yeah.
It's terrifying.
So Phobos is this once ancient, all-powerful vampire. 700 years ago, he ruled the earth in fear. Everyone feared him, and he fell off his moat, off his castle edge, and got knocked unconscious in his toxic moat, and he got stuck in mid-transformation. And so, you know, 700 years later, these people have taken over his castle, and this girl at Ninek found him, and he's this pathetic, worthless, half bat, half man thing that no one understands what he is. And so she's kind of like nursing him back to health, but she doesn't realize. No one realizes it's the once great Phobos who she's helping. So that's kind of what's going on. And it's kind of a slapstick spoof on all the classic horror comedy type shows, like Monsters and Addams Family, and but it's just you know, it's just my own version of it. I came up with the ideas, and when I was in high school, and as far as the characters go, and some of the main arcs. And I've just refined it so many times over the years that now it's just like, well, I'll work on this when I don't know what else to do.
Sure.
Sure. And I enjoy it, so I figure.
Well, you can tell.
Other people seem to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I'll keep working on it.
Yeah.
And the ultimate test is like when I put out the first volume, if people really respond to it or not.
You've already published something of this, haven't you?
Yeah. So like these. Let me get my screen full screen. How do I do it? Remove. So these are the first 2 issues that I gave to my patrons, and they're just about 100 pages each.
Oh, okay.
And, but it's just all the same kind of stuff, and it's kind of a test to see, how people respond to it. People have responded real well. You can read it online only if you become a patron, though. And
am I not a patron? I thought I was.
Well, then you have access. You're just like me. You subscribe to people and don't pay attention.
Well, I like to support, and then
that's exactly right. It's like, yeah, I subscribe to artists that I like, and then I try to support them, and then I forget. I don't realize anything they're doing because I'm busy.
So make a note and go and cancel the Patreon for Brubaker. No,
no one will notice.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So yeah, this is about 200 pages between these 2, and I'm trying to finish the 3rd one, which I'll give to patrons. So also, when I get one of these done, I send them out to patrons that are 5 and up, as long as they fill out the order form. But I'll send them for free. I mean, obviously they're paying to be a patron.
Yeah.
So that's how people have gotten these in the past, the physical books.
It's about the access at that point. You get the access to it.
Yeah, you get the access to it, and then once I publish the hardcover, I think I'm going to make these disappear. And because these are kind of prior to being full finished editing, so there's a lot of work that still needs to be tweaked on them.
Right. You're going to have another throwing away the books party. I saw something briefly on that.
No, they won't do like that.
Oh my gosh, there's madness.
Welcome, Adrian Knight. I don't know if RP Smith has audio or anything, but I'll play John.
I'm here, man.
You're there.
Yeah, I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm actually working.
Hello.
You're working, okay. And Adrian, welcome, guys.
I just had like a feedback from the YouTube stream, so I had to turn that off. How's everybody doing?
Good. We're doing good. We're just hanging out. I'm gonna try this once and see how it happens, how it works. I saw Doug Tingle do it once, where he just sent a link out to everybody, and it turned into chaos after a while. So
chaos would be fun.
Nice to be here, guys.
I can't control chaos like Doug can.
No.
So
RP Smith says they finally got their mic fixed.
Got their mic fixed.
Yes.
Well, you guys feel free to talk about anything or ask me questions or whatever you want to do. I'll try to draw as I'm going because I don't want it to just be a boring story.
I was just wondering about the slapstick thing that you mentioned on Phobos. It's like I'm getting like Tim Burton vibes. Is that what you mean?
Theme boredom vibes?
Tim Burton.
Oh, Tim Burton?
Yeah.
Yes. I like Tim Burton stuff.
No?
Yes, I do love Tim Burton stuff, yeah. I think he was a pretty big influence back in the day, and I don't think I've watched much of his more recent stuff, but I do love the sensibilities of the stylizing of everything, it's enjoyable for me. So
yeah, because it kind of reminds me of Edward Scissorhands.
Okay,
when you say stuff like nobody gets him, the main character. So I'm getting that from the character background.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I know that Tim Burton influenced us a lot because, like I say, I came up with it in high school, So this was 20-something years ago, and I was really I love the old classic black and white type TV shows that had the heavy film grain in it and everything. And so that's why I
Yeah.
chose to like keep it real heavy film grain type stuff like this, and just try to do that same style, Um, and it's weird. I get mixed feelings. Like I've had studios, like executives, pick up my old versions of this comic, and there was interest in it at one time, even though it's really, really weird and bizarre, and it's based on old other characters. And then there's other situations where studio executives are like, don't want to have anything to do with it because it's based on public domain type content. Like for
Yes.
instance,
So you can put a trademark on that.
well, like it's my own take on it. So it's not like I can copyright Frankenstein, but my version it's based on Frankenstein, as long as I don't infringe on the universal copyright Frankenstein, which
Yeah.
has to be green. His skin's green. He has the big eyebrows. There's like 5 things that you have to not copy to infringe on their copyright version of Frankenstein. And so I don't know.
Yeah, I thought he was still fair game.
It is. The character is totally fair game. It's just you can't infringe on the Universal Studios version of it because they've copyrighted their version of it.
Oh, actual Universals. Okay, I thought you were saying
Yeah.
Universal as in another sense. The actual proper name. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I've kind of worried about it in the past because I put so much work into this.
Yeah.
And there's things that I still do to this day that I'm thinking about, like before I release it as a trade or as a graphic novel, where I want to do little tweaks even to differentiate it even more. Like for instance, the Frankenstein character has a lot of, he's like stitched together from a bunch of body parts, just like Frankenstein. But I really want to make it, I don't want to. I can't find a good example.
But even movies have different versions of the Frankenstein monster.
Yeah,
Like the one you mentioned is the classic, but if you saw the Robert De Niro one, it's more, I don't know how to say it. It's kind of like, I don't know, zombie, strange.
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever read the original Frankenstein, but the monster in that, I mean, has long hair, and I mean, he's very pale. It's just very different depiction. I think Chris Grimley is my favorite depiction of his monster. I don't know if you've ever seen Chris Grimley's stuff, but in a way, it's sort of like what you're doing. It picks a very limited palette and then goes for this. It's a very limited palette. It's not black and white. It's all kind of sepia tones.
Yeah.
Have you seen
One of the early, so Bernie Wrightson did a beautiful artistic vision of Frankenstein. I don't know if you've seen that, and it has the original text, Mary Shelley's text, but then he just did illustrations, and oh my goodness, it's some of the most detailed, beautiful stuff, and I loved that. So that was a huge inspiration, I think, for this too.
R.P. Smith is asking, have you seen Penny Dreadful? And
I haven't. Nothing about that seemed to catch my interest, but I don't know.
It's different takes of Frankenstein.
It does? Okay.
Oh, there you are. You're on mic.
And werewolves and Dorian Gray.
Yeah.
Basically, they take those characters and just reimagine it.
I'll have to check it out. I didn't realize it had.
The first 2 seasons, the last season wasn't so good.
Agreed. But I guess, brace yourself for extremely mature content. Not as in like really horrible, but it's pretty stark compared to a lot of other things.
Yeah. Maybe that's why
I watched most of it while I was drawing, so I didn't catch a ton of it. But it was rough at times.
Yeah, maybe that's why I didn't watch it, because I was like, okay, I know where this is gonna go. You know, like there's such a mature themed audience nowadays with all the streaming stuff. It's like it's kind of hard to like not find super mature stuff now. And you know, I know a lot of people like it, but I don't know. It
Right.
kind of turns me off.
So, Jason, have you thought about using Twitch as another platform?
I've tried, you know, I tried it back in the day before they made it artist friendly, and it was really difficult to like use it, and then it would always mess up and it would glitch on me. I started calling it glitch. And then I kind of abandoned it, tried to convert my stuff over to YouTube, you know, but then it just didn't, it was too much work. And so then one day I was like, well, I'll try it on YouTube. And it's like there's instantly an audience there because I've already built the audience.
Yeah.
And it just worked really easily. And so I just kind of never looked back, you know. So, and since then they've contacted me and they've said, hey, come over to Twitch. You know, have you heard about Twitch streaming? And I'm like, dude, I tried it. I tried working with you guys before and it was really hard.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I think that if you like a lot more engagement from the people, you know, from chat, then it's definitely the way to go. There's all kinds of interactive. I've been messing around on it for the past month or so I've been bouncing back and forth. I think I love YouTube for some things, and I love Twitch for other things. So I kind of wish they would.
So can you have it to restream it to YouTube? You have to probably use something like Restream or
Yes.
Do you use something like StreamYard to send it to Twitch, or do you actually?
I use something called Streamlabs OBS, so that allows me to multi-stream to Twitch and Facebook or YouTube and Facebook, but not a combination of all those. I'm hoping that they're working on that because it's ridiculous. So I just kind of bounce back and forth. But I don't know what StreamYard is. I've heard.
Oh, okay, it's just a super easy way to throw a stream up. That's what I'm using right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'll have to try Twitch again.
It'd be interesting if you could use StreamYard with OBS Streamlabs at the same time. That way you can have multiple people on at the same time.
Yeah, I do have OBS. I've used that. I think that started like messing up my my computer's processing speed and stuff, and it would make my Photoshop start crashing.
And actually, OBS Streamlabs, which is, I think it's the same company, is a better version because it uses less of your CPU time.
Yeah, it's specifically meant for streaming rather than.
Okay, let me write that down.
Just for screen recording.
OBS
Streamlabs OBS. Yeah.
Okay.
Chat.
Streamlabs. Got it. I'll look into that after this. Because I think that was the biggest thing that stopped me from streaming was I got an Cintiq which has a bigger monitor, and as soon as I started running both, it's like everything started tweaking. And so then I was like, well, I got to get this stuff done, so I'm gonna just not stream.
Right.
Also double check to see what kind of bandwidth that you're actually able to upload with. You don't have to go to the more premium package to handle the bandwidth. Got it.
Yeah.
Hey, RP, I don't know if you have a lot of background noise or Adrian. If you guys can mute yourself if you're not talking, if you have a lot of background. Maybe it's you, Bob. I don't think it's you, though.
I don't think so. It's pretty quiet in here.
Okay.
And my whole family's around, but they're all on computers doing school and stuff. They're all around me right here. Oh, hey, we can actually look at the YouTube chat on the side. I mean, check that. There's a live comments area.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Have you tried Discord?
Me? Discord?
Yeah.
I had a Discord group channel for a little bit. I never could figure out how to do it like with streaming, but it was kind of like this back room that I had my patrons go to and discuss things.
Yeah, because I kind of remember you talking about Discord before.
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Yeah, it was just another thing that I had to remember to go to, and so I've tried to consolidate like the places that I go online, and just to kind of keep my life a little bit more easy to manage all the pieces. And so yeah, every now and then I'll go through and like cut out all the things that I don't feel like I enjoy, and that either that or things I'm wasting my time on too much. It's distracting. It's like a secondary thing.
Like Instagram and Twitter, they kind of gone now.
Yeah.
Oh, Instagram and Twitter?
Yeah.
It depends. As an artist, I really would rather post on Instagram, and Twitter is just kind of, I don't know, it's very information based. Back when I did a lot of coding, websites and whatnot, that was the place where we would go to get our information, all the nerds, and then it became this other thing. So I don't know what to do with Twitter anymore. That was a while ago. So
yeah, I kind of stopped Twitter. I still have it just for communicating in the background with not. I don't go on it to communicate, but there's certain people that seems like it's only easiest to get them by messaging them on Twitter.
blasting it out.
So I'll keep it for that until that becomes unnecessary.
Right. I gotta say, Jason, your light gray theme for your Photoshop is putting me in. I've not seen anyone use the light gray in forever. It's putting me in mind of like really old software. It's kind of nostalgic. It's nostalgic in a huge way.
I'm kind of doing that. Well, because if I go solid white, it hurts my eyes.
Oh no, I mean like look at your UI over here where your palette and stuff is. I use that really dark gray
instead of the dark.
Yeah, oh,
I see.
It looks nostalgic. That's all I'm saying.
Nice.
But it does
Hello,
work.
everybody.
Oh, hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, I could change it if you want me to be more updated.
Gosh, no. Be the hipster you are.
So I take it you're using Photoshop Creative Cloud.
It's Creative Cloud, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
What is? Okay.
He just has a different theme. He has like a different backgrounds chosen.
I in the preferences you can, like, I think it's your workspace. You can pick.
Yeah, I have mine on dark theme
or something.
Yeah.
Interface. So see, instead of like the dark like this, I think most people do the darks now.
Yeah.
But okay, so the reason I don't is because reading white text on dark hurts my eyes more than reading dark text on white. But then, going really white is like too white.
No.
I don't know. So yeah, that's just my preference.
Hey, Jason, I have to ask something for the gray tones on your book, because actually I have a book myself that is we say gray tones. So you have a set of 4-6 grays that you use around the book, or is kind of more freestyle as you?
There's well, it's with Phobos specifically. I'm not really focusing in on 1 or 2 or 4 kind of grays. I'm just going for what will make it look most like those old TV shows, the film grain, like heavy lighting. And so I'll sketch up something like this, but then afterwards I'll do a lot of stuff like crazy lighting and glows and all kinds of things to really emphasize that lighting. And so I'm thinking just full grayscale. And when I go to print it, it's going to be interesting. I might have to print it. I don't know how I'll print it. I'll have to do a print test with offset printing just to see how it works. How it prints.
I would like to show you this for your opinion, because the printing part is actually the one that gets me worried because I have problems. I do. Let me show you what I mean.
Okay.
So this is like I'm not an expert on printing or anything. So let me show you. I don't know if you remember this book. It was on
Oh yeah.
Brook number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what happened on the print. I don't know if you see the dots per inch.
Oh, okay. I can't quite see it on the monitor. The dots. Anyway.
It depends on that paper. I wish I could touch the paper because sometimes the DPI, or the dots per inch, can be more apparent or bleed more together depending on the quality of the paper. Not quality, but the texture of it. Is it real toothy or whatnot?
Yeah.
The difference here. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, let me get you on screen again.
This is a local printer. I'm here in Chile.
Yeah.
And then on the lower side is the first printing with an American printer. So you can see there is a huge difference.
It's quite different, yeah. Are they both print on demand? Are they different? Like, is one offset, one not?
Print on demand, yeah.
Okay.
Like sure. It's the same thing, just this is the new one.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, well, all the printers have their own kind of their settings and all that stuff, and so that's why with print on demand it's kind of tricky, because unless you just print one and then look at it to see if it's right and then print another one, you're never going to know. Like when I do all my books, I do offset printing mostly, and so I'll get the proofs, and that's when you like figure out all those details, like is it printing wrong, and then you need to tell them to adjust it and stuff. But then it just costs a lot more money, and you also have to do a lot of books and volume and all that stuff, so it's I think you're kind of stuck with what the print on demand companies do.
That's exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm just like, I'm stuck here. Let's just do a short run and get done with this.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like print on demand for color comic type work, because it's just not you can't control the quality, but it's the easy way to get something made.
Yeah, literally, if you run about 500 copies of anything on a digital, which is really what print on demand is, a digital printing machine, even a toner, by the 500th one, you'll have several different varieties of all your colors. It's wildly inaccurate. Whereas, I don't know if you do offset with your books. Jason, do you do offset printing with your books?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell, I think. I mean, when I've looked through them, it's pretty vibrant.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the offset, because you can really, you got to really nitpick it. Oops, I'm drawing on the wrong layer. Look at that. You got to nitpick it, and so you really end up getting something closer to what you're looking for. Yeah. At least I do. It's so hard to print things right, so
at least you can really count on, your first print is going to look the same as your 5,000th. So
yeah.
Well, it costs more.
Yeah, it costs more, and you got to print a bunch of them.
Yeah.
As long as you can get your proofs proofed correctly, and you know how to proof it. That's a whole art in itself, is like knowing how to communicate with printers about proofing.
Yep. That's old school, Jason. Showing your age.
Hey, Jason, I want to bow out, but I really do appreciate you allowing me to come into your stream today.
Oh, no problem. Sorry I didn't let you talk at all.
Oh, you're good. Hopefully I'll be able to come on into the future.
Yeah.
You're out.
All right, see you.
Here.
Oh, I think that was his background noise.
Oh yeah. I was trying to see if it was me, if the door open or something. So yeah, that printing part got me really confused about the paper. I think you asked about that, but the paper is pretty similar. It's not glossy or anything. I don't know the grams. I think it's 100 grams, but it's pretty similar on these two. So I was talking with the guy at the printer, and I take my original one, and I tell him I want it to look like this one, and he gave me a bunch of technical specifics that I didn't understand. Dots per inch, the machine, and I, like Jason said, I'm stuck here now.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is, you're not stuck with 2,000 copies of it like that. It's since it's print on demand. You kind of, unless you order 2,000 copies print on demand, which
I just ordered a thousand.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it was like 100 just to start up. I think you review my digital version of the comic, and I did this printing like a month or something like that afterwards. I think things got crazy over here with protests, and I'm stuck with them. These copies.
You say with protests?
Yeah, protests. Yeah.
Really? Hopefully you're staying safe.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm locked down here, man. I'm not going anywhere.
Where are you at?
I'm in Santiago, Chile.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, sorry to hear you have protests, but I understand, I think.
Yeah, that was in October. They started with the protest.
Oh, I thought it was something to do with pandemic right now, because I know some of that. It just showed my ignorance right there.
No, I mean they kind of I don't know, got slower the protest, and just as that happened, the virus got to Latin America, so everybody was kind of nervous, and then the lockdown. So it's just kind of from October until now, different situations happening.
Yeah, that's complex. Can you see your chat there, Jason?
Some people I'm not paying attention.
Ryan Hack asked, what was it like working on Devil Dinosaur? And then he said, lol, JK, love your work. I think there's an inside joke there. I don't know.
I don't know what Devil Dinosaur is.
Yeah, that's a Marvel book.
It's what?
Right? Marvel book? Or it's an image book?
I have no idea. Ryan, you're going to have to clarify.
Yeah, sorry, Ryan.
Yeah.
I don't know what Devil Dinosaur is. Unless it's a certain character that I worked on some show or something. That I don't remember the name.
Let's see. I'm Googling it. I could get in trouble for this. Marvel Comics.
Well, I'd sure like to take credit for something that if it was awesome.
If
But it might be something that's not very good either. Marvel's been putting out some interesting things these days.
Oh damn, we're going there.
Oh no, I don't want to go there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, his nose looks horrible. Okay.
What indie comics are you reading now? I don't know, Jason, Bob, Jim. Any indie comics that you will recommend?
Great question.
I don't really collect much.
There's this good series called Cifra.
Yeah.
Wait, never heard of it.
6 volumes.
How do you spell that? No, I've just been picking up a lot of older stuff, like Mike Mignola's stuff, and
Yeah, Hellboy.
reading that. So nothing indie. Hellboy stuff and the Abe Sapien stuff. It got a little. He brought in a lot of other artists on the Abe Sapien stuff, so it's not as thrilling to me because I like the story and the art. But
Yeah.
I like some of Sean Gordon Murphy stuff too, like The Wake. That was a good one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yogi the Ghost was really good.
I got one of his. I love his art, but I got one of
Yeah.
his books, and it was so graphic and stuff that I'm like, I don't want to have this hanging around the house.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well,
The Wake wasn't too bad. The Wake was wasn't as like graphic as like he had one punk rock Jesus, I think was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
and you do a lot of Batman stuff.
Yeah, he did the White Knight. He the recent Batman. They actually gave him his own. They call it the Murphyverse. Allow him to do his own thing with Batman, which is like huge. Yeah, that's huge. They don't really allow that. But.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Batmobile design he did. Damn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's I think he's a motorcycle collector too, so he's like into the gear stuff. So you could tell when he draws like bikes and stuff, they're like all really cool. But
but you can see by the line, his line art is like a whoosh, like a I don't know.
Yeah,
very dynamic.
It's so solid, even though it's quick. It's really confident line work.
Yeah.
I'm like,
exactly.
Mine, which I'm scribbling, try to figure things out.
I drink too much coffee for that.
Yeah, I sculpt when I draw. It's like I start out all scratchy and then I kind of like sculpt down to the image that I want. I can't just like start out with a clear. There's this artist Matt Weldon I've been watching, and he can just start drawing a character, no rough layout, and just like, amazing. Can't do it, but it's amazing to watch.
I don't know if you ever saw an artist drawing that fast up close. They usually have the grip on the pencil is so light that you think that the pencil is gonna be flying. It's gonna be popping someone eye.
Yeah.
And I wonder if is there a technique or is something that comes natural in your grip, something a muscle that you work, because sometimes I find myself pressing down like this, like
yeah. Since I've gone digital, I've loosened up with my how I hold the pencil. Before I'd really just clamp it hard, and now I'm a little looser. I mean, especially like doing the sketches like this, I'm really holding the pencil loose.
It's interesting
because
there is. Go ahead, Adrian.
Sorry.
Go.
Oh, sorry. No, I just wanted to say something that when I draw sketch or pencil, you can use the pencil like this. It's very like old school stuff. But when you ink, you go like this. Oh, damn it! That line. Oh. You get crazy with the ink part.
You're going like this. Are you trying to keep your hand out of the way? I didn't know, because I seen people draw like this, and I didn't know if they're trying to like see their drawing better or what. Because your hand can get in the way.
Yeah, I don't know if it's not like you're putting pressure with your shoulder, because that would be crazy.
Yeah,
but it's not too far. It's not too far from the actual pressure that you put into the poor Wacom taking that beating.
right. No, I just think that sometimes I see people do that, whereas I'm just like that. Yeah. Sean Smith.
Actually, guys, I'm gonna sign up because my computer can handle the streaming.
All right, Adrian.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice to Oh, nice to join for the first time. Hopefully, we can do it again.
Yeah, I'll try to send out an invite to everyone again. It's kind of
See you
fun.
guys.
Keeps me entertained. See ya.
Yeah. Do you never work with music on, Jason? It's kind of quiet.
Well, when I'm streaming, I stopped because everything gets claimed nowadays.
True.
Even if it's super light in the background.
Right.
So yeah, streaming I don't, but I will. It kind of depends on what I'm working on, like what stage. Like if I'm thumbnailing, then I can't have a lot of sound because it's all mind control, not mind. It's like I got to really focus, That's just the way my brain works. But when I'm coloring, I can have music and all kinds of stuff.
Do you find color to be the most easy, the most fun, or easy, or none of these?
It's not easier unless I really have in my mind what I'm going to do with the color. But a lot of times I don't. Like even this part, I'm kind of just making it up as I go, trying to figure it out, like what the lighting's going to be. Hopefully something kind of comes to mind by the time I get to that stage. But in coloring, so much of coloring is lighting for me as well. And so, yeah, it's a lot of figuring. It's a lot of throwing down shapes and colors and then adjusting it and playing with it and looking at it, flipping the screen, turning on and off layers, And so I can do that when I'm listening to music and stuff. But if I'm trying to thumbnail and really think of the story and everything, then I need to kind of like have quiet silence. There's no way I could do a stream while I'm thumbnailing and sit there and talk about what I'm doing as I'm doing it. It just wouldn't work.
I get that.
I wouldn't be able to get very much done.
Yeah, I've seen people do it though. They don't even talk. They don't have their camera on or anything, and they put like a little message in the upper right that says, "Don't talk to me. If you just want to watch or whatever." Or they say, "No mic, no cam," and they just do their thing. And people just lurk in and out of there and check it out. It's kind of neat. I've watched them and not expected anything out of the streamer. So it would just be cool maybe to show, put up a little thing that says, "Leave me alone. I'm going to pay attention."
I could. For me, part of it is, the observer effect.
Yeah.
It really changes the way I mean, even now, it's like I wasn't planning on going sketchy first with this page, but because people are watching, it's like I can't help. I can't, for whatever reason, I'm not refining things like I would if I was just by myself.
Right.
And so. Right. Part of it's just because I've stepped away from drawing for a while and from Phobos for a while, and so it's I'm not there with the confidence to just dive in and be like, yes, let's just keep crushing through these pages because I've been doing it for the last week.
You're flying though. This is going quick.
Yeah,
and I see what you're putting in the crib now is not an insect. That is a scary vampire of some kind. I get it now, and I'm like, oh, that's what that is. It's terrifying.
It's a strange creature. Yes.
No, I call it the freedom to fail. When people are around me, I don't feel like I have the same freedom to fail. I won't just try anything. I will only try those things that I think are safe, that I think are impressive to look at.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people like to see you make the mistakes and figure things out, because that's how you kind of learn from watching someone go through that process. But yeah, it's like, the main thing I'm trying to get done is get a page done. It's if my channel was more about teaching art, then I think I would get more into that type of stuff. Like what's best for the viewer to learn from. But the number one goal is to get the pages done. Number two goal is to do marketing. Like YouTube's all streaming and all this stuff. It's just exposure and getting eyeballs on your stuff.
Yeah,
generating more interest. You know, if it wasn't for that, I'd do it a lot less. There's times when I really want to do it. Like I really wanted to do it now just to kind of hang out with people and communicate and get my mind off of the campaign that's happening and, you know, and work on Phobos and have fun with it. So, you know. Yeah.
No, it looks good. You can tell when people are having fun with art, you know, when it's a chore, it's stiffer and
Yeah.
So this is good.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what Phobos is kind of for me. It's like it's the fun thing that I can always fall back on that's really fun to just work on it. You know? Like but there's so many art jobs that I've had where it is the chore. It's like, okay, I gotta force myself to do this again. But this one I don't want it to be that, you know.
Right.
And so I reserve it for I'm trying so with Phobos, I try not to make it be the breadwinner. I don't want it to be the thing that makes the money and as much as I can, because then it puts a different kind of pressure on it. Just kind of like the observer effect, you know, it puts a different pressure on what you're doing. And so I'm trying to avoid that if I can. But you know, if people like it and it does make money, then you know, I don't want to like ignore that. So, you know, I don't know what to do with it. But it's not I can't look at it like this is serious. This is gonna be the one that works, that everyone likes. Because it'll so screw up everything I've done with Phobos. Phobos has always been this slapstick like commentary on everything that I can think of, and I just want to enjoy it and not take it seriously, you know. And so anyway, it's going to pose a dilemma, especially if it gets more and more popular, especially if the campaign does really well when I finally release it as a graphic novel. If it does better than my other campaigns, then it will be like, okay, I need to look at Phobos like the breadwinner now. No, how do I move forward? You know, without ruining what it is.
Does the way you work change depending on, like, say, working on shapes versus like working on Phobos? Like, do you find yourself more free when you work on Phobos?
Oh yeah, totally. I'm just a different person altogether on Phobos. It's, you know, shapes I had to hit certain goals with the what, you know, how it looked. I had to hit goals with the storytelling. I had to hit so much information done on certain pages. Phobos is just like, let's have fun and make sure everyone's having fun who's reading this thing. It's more of the journey type of a story than it is hitting the points, selling the project to a movie studio, making sure the ending ties up perfectly, and you know, the Pavlov's gun, whatever. No, it's not Pavlov's. All these story structure like things have to work out just right. Phobos is just like it's just an exercise in enjoying the process, and for me, and having fun with it, and more than anything, you know, there's definitely a lot of story ideas there, and concepts and dilemmas and things that, you know, I had to wrestle with before I continued working on Phobos, because I don't want to make a comic just to make a comic either, you know, like it has to have a purpose for me making it, you know. And so once I kind of figured out, oh yeah, this is the kind of grand message of Phobos, and this is why it should be out there in the world, you know, not just mindless entertainment, you know. I don't want to just make another vampire comic, you know, just because.
Andy Zhang says it's Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov,
in the chat.
Yeah. Pavlov. Pavlov had the dog for the
I think he's right. Yeah. But yeah, all those little storytelling beats and everything. Yeah, you're kind of free from that. That's cool. You know, you can just enjoy the.
Sorry. So does your process change, Jason, as well? Like the way you work between the two different projects?
Yeah, it does. It definitely does because because with Phobos, I'm purposely being very sketchy and loose. And if this was a Marvel comic or something for DreamWorks that I'm trying to present to studio executives or whatever, I would focus on different things to kind of that I know that they're looking at and they want. And so, especially with this relaunch of Phobos, mostly how can I do this really fast and keep it fun for me to work on for a long period of time, and how can I kind of take the energy I put into it and the feeling I got from it when I was a teenager making it, and how can I translate that to nowadays, 20 years, 25 years later, 30 years later, 20, let's say 20. And so I was trying to recapture kind of that freedom I had and I felt making it and reading it. There was just a joy in it, and so I'm trying to recapture that. And it just meant I was doing it for myself kind of more than anything, for my own enjoyment, because as a teenager, like no one else was ever going to see it unless I got it published somehow, and it eventually got kind of published. But it was really just me as a teenager, so I'm really trying to make sure that like I'm keeping as much of that as I can and trying to figure out, okay, what was just lack of storytelling ability? Like let's learn take all the things I've learned in the last 20 years working in Hollywood and the industry and telling stories and everything, and try to make this thing that a teenage kid made, but making it really good, and but keeping it true to the teenage vision. And so anyway, I don't know if I'm answering your question at all. But it's every one of my comics is really different in the way that I approach it, because it has a different kind of agenda. Reminds agenda as far as what my goals were to get out of it was I wanted the comic book world to recognize it and say, wow, like this is an outsider stepping in, doing it a different way. And it's good. And it's really good. He has some different ways of doing it. And I maybe I'll try that, like whether it's building the pages in spreads or using pencil only and, or using the gouache texture, paint textures and, or lighting, all that stuff, was me really just trying to kind of turn the heads of people in the industry and different industries and just introduce myself, after that, Phobos or Sithra was more like, the agenda there was like, how do I not get caught up in webcomics and what the industry wants? And how do I just tell this story about faith that's really honest and true to me and what I believe, and treat it as if this is the last story I could ever tell, like I need to tell it honestly, and these concepts that I've been wrestling with. And it will be as long as it needs to be. I don't care. I'm not going to do anything to serve it as a business, like I would have approached it completely different if it was trying to maximize the amount of money I could make out of Sithra. But it still worked, and I definitely wouldn't do it the same way again on a future book. I'm glad I did it with Sithra, but I wouldn't do those same steps and release it the same way for a future book. I don't think, for a different story,
Hey, speaking of story, you just got a question for an elevator pitch. Richard Smith would really like the elevator pitch, so he probably wasn't around when you gave it to me when we first started. You want to do it again? You're gonna get tired. Yeah, on Phobos.
Phobos is a once all-powerful vampire that struck fear into the hearts of everyone in the whole world 700 years ago. He ruled the earth, And then he fell into his toxic mode on accident and got knocked out unconscious for 700 years, stuck in mid-transformation between being a bat and man. 700 years later, he was fished out by this girl in Ninek and these other people who have taken over his castle. And she's nursing him back to health. And they're all unaware that he's the once great, evil, horrible, all-powerful Phobos. And so it's kind of a story of him relearning who he was, everyone else learning who he is. And it's just a total slapstick comedy kind of spoof on all the classic horror characters as well. You know, eventually we'll introduce mummies and werewolves, and there's vampires, obviously, and Frankenstein and all that stuff. So it's just kind of a different take on all that. And, that's kind of the elevator pitch.
There it is. I love it. Well, listen, I have to go do a thing on my own, so I'm going to jump off stream. I'm sure glad you allowed me to come on.
Yeah.
Jim, Jason.
Nice meeting you, Bob.
Thanks.
Nice meeting you.
Hanging out, Bob, and keeping it alive.
Yep. We'll talk soon, hopefully.
All right, see you, Bob. All right, Jim, it's all about you now.
No, not about me, Jason.
Let's see here. Let me throw the link out again. Get some other people. So, hey, guys, if you want to join the conversation, I'm posting a link into the chat right now. You're more than welcome to join. And if I see you pop in, I'll pull you on screen with us. So, Jim, what are you working on?
Right now, I'm just working on a fan picture of Baroness from G.I. Joe.
Oh, okay.
Just warming up the hands.
That is awesome. What am I doing wrong here? Oh.
If you like, I'll share it to you.
Yeah, let's see it.
See if I can share the screen.
Well, you can screen, then I'll pull you up.
Yes. Should be there now. You should be able to pull it.
Boom. There we go.
Well, I'll change it out of the blue line.
That's cool. Is that a commission you're doing for someone?
No, actually, there was a challenge, like 6 pictures a day challenge, or 6 fan pics a day challenge on either Facebook or YouTube. I forget where it was. And you basically put it out, and people just give you a bunch of characters they'd like to see you do. So I've been doing them kind of as warm-ups.
Yeah.
I got some here.
So these are all challenge characters then?
Some are from Mike Miller's Drawn and Quartered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the Weldon piece.
Man, that's great.
Thanks. Whoa. I can get my mouse to work. This Ferris one.
That's cool.
Okay.
I don't know why I am doing flats already. I just have this sketchy picture.
I still have to get those sleeves from you for the books. I haven't forgotten.
Yeah.
For the sister books. It was nice. My son purchased them for like my 50th birthday. Yeah. And he thought he purchased the ones with the covers.
Oh, okay.
With the sleeves. I'm like, no, you didn't do that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, well, just hit me up when
I will.
when you're ready.
Yep.
I'll have a bunch of them for a while.
I couldn't believe, those books you were tossing.
Oh, tell me about it.
I was screaming. It's like, no.
It was hard to get to that point.
Oh.
You know? It was hard to just get there. and eventually it was like forced. Like I just had to do it.
Yeah.
And I was hesitating, putting it on YouTube, talking about it, but I wanted to let people know what was going on.
Well, that's why I like your content, because you're honest about stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You show the actual the trials, good or bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were some people that were like just so angry, like, why wouldn't you send these to your fans? Instead, you just want to make money. And I'm like, do you know how much work it would be to send these to my fans? If you want to come and help me send these to my fans, you're welcome to have a 6-month job of doing that.
Here's my garage.
Here's my garage. Here's
a bunk bed.
You need to get rid of them in 6 months.
Start
and
now.
I can't pay you. So,
starting now.
Exactly. Like people just don't understand how much work any of this stuff is, especially when it's such a big quantity.
Yeah.
And even I'd love this if I could send these out, have sent those out to everybody for free. That would have been an amazing promotional opportunity.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? It means packing up, buying shipping supplies and packing it up and spending minimum of like $5 per order to just ship it to someone.
Yeah.
Not to mention all the work of like just trying to collect addresses and figure out who wants it. It would just be a nightmare. So anyway, it's not like anyone needs to explain how hard that is, but some people, I guess, don't get it.
Yeah, my heart went out. I was like, oh, I could feel your pain.
Yeah, it's a weird situation to be in.
So what part of your process do you feel most comfortable, or do you enjoy the most? Is it like the pencils, the coloring, the lighting?
It's what I'm doing right now, which is the lighting.
The figuring out.
I love the lighting. Like getting the.
Is it because it's a challenge, or is it because it's like what you know what I mean? Is it like because it's like puzzle solving, or or is it just because you just enjoy doing it?
It's because this is what I picture in my mind is the mood more than anything. And so trying to recreate that, the pencil work is all good. It's fun, it's fine. Coloring it is fine, but it's setting the mood that is pure bliss for me to do. If someone else could imitate my style and do everything else and then just let me set the mood for every single panel,
done.
I would love it. I'd do it, So
I think I least enjoy coloring because I feel like I'm horrible at it. I just I think that's the thing I'd like to do least. Inking, it comes in second. I enjoy penciling. That's kind of like I enjoy the pencil work.
Yeah, I do really enjoy pencil too. Yeah. I think that's my second favorite. Is kind of more cleaned up pencil type stuff. The sketches are necessary, but they're probably my least favorite. Trying to figure out compositions. It's just hard. That's why it's just hard for me. And I don't want to just like do something basic and simple. And I want compositions that are interesting and stand out and stuff. And so I'm always struggling to get that, figure out what that is, but yeah, it's hard. And then once I've kind of figured that out, then it's fun to just draw it and clean all the drawings and all that stuff. And then it goes back into kind of preparing the colors, doing the flats, not fun.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is a step that needs to be done. And then lighting is fun. And I think that's why with Phobos, I'm trying to skip that process of color and flatting and just get straight to go straight to the sketch and then straight to the lighting.
Shave off a lot of time.
Yeah. And I'll clean up things that need to be cleaned up, but like her face here, I probably won't clean it up too much more because it's like, yeah, it serves the purpose of what it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably clean up this side over here, this panel a little bit. I'll clean up this wide shot a little bit, maybe just the characters, but I'll probably get everything else in there with shapes and lighting, So,
Can you zoom in a little more, Jason?
Sure. It's not very impressive when I zoom in a little close.
Wow.
I'm just trying to. I'm getting too many layers, so.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever find that like well, maybe not so much with Phobos, because you're leaving this a little more like raw, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
But do you find that like the dynamics in your rough sketching and your layouts, sometimes it ends up being better looking to you than your actual finished product? Like I find a lot like,
oh yeah, and that's why I'm doing it this way with Phobos. Is like just knowing that, just seeing over and over again, like when you tighten things up and clean it up, you lose.
How's it going, man?
Hello,
hey,
hello.
welcome, Ant-Man.
Hey, it said I could put anything. It said I could put anything there. I was like, all right, the Ant-Man today.
What is your name? It looks like you have ears with the cow ears.
Yeah, I know it does. Look at
There you go.
right there. It's like
There you go.
You're actually wearing like a mat.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that was just to kind of keep the glare from the corner right here, and then I was like, okay, I got to move it. And now that you said I have cow ears, I'm gonna move it again, probably a little higher this time. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt and interrupt the conversation, but I was like, oh, cool, working from home and I'm drawing.
Yeah.
At the time right now, I'm like, all right, I'll just
best of all worlds.
if I can join.
Yeah. What you working on?
It's like quarantine. What's that? Like everyday normal life for most artists.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like there's a quarantine going on. What?
Oh.
Yeah, really. Huh? Yeah, everyone's asking me how I'm doing. I'm like, man, nothing's changed for me.
Yeah, right.
Welcome to my world, everybody. Just work by yourself all the time.
How do I screen share on this thing?
Oh,
it's gonna do double screens.
I can just choose one that I will share at a time. So yeah, let's check out what you're doing. Look at that.
Nice.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I like how you're doing the quicker style, or you've been experimenting with that, you were saying.
Yeah.
I think it's working really good. I like it.
Yeah, this is, and then right here on page 2, same thing with this. See, it's like it's still getting some used to some of the super detailed stuff that I'm doing. I guess this is just, I mean, that'll start coming out, but I'm trying to really do this the cartoony stuff here and there. And
that's good. Yeah, I don't think you ever want to like completely abandon the detail because you're so good at it. But just choosing where you want to put it, is all you got to do.
Right. Yeah, it's like
really good. I like it.
Yeah, see, like if I did this before with this coat here, I would have done every little crease and every little thing in there. But I'm going to kind of keep it to this, so it's just because you had that conversation. I forgot with those creators, and I think I was talking to you about this before, and then I just cut myself off a long time ago. But and you reminded me of like how I need to step back and I need to like bring down the detail if I want to get a bunch of stuff done, if I want to get anything done. And I'm like, that's right. So I got to stop drawing like I do in seasons.
Yeah. And it's beautiful, and the thing is, it's like, it's good to know how to do that because it makes your other stuff even better,
Right.
But It's just like knowing anatomy before you can draw a cartoon character. Like it just helps your cartoon characters, even if you're not using the anatomy anymore.
Right.
And so like knowing how to use detail really well, it's so nice for when you want to just pull out that tool.
Yeah, see, I got that. Yeah, I have all that down, like all the anatomy down. Like I'm good at that, you know.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, okay, how do I do this with like cartoons? Because I could see like these guys, these anime cartoonists and stuff, and they can draw on when they're doing sketches and all that kind of stuff. When you go through their sketchbooks, they have like realism, like you can see them. Yeah. They know all the bone structure and all this kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden they have like Little Witch Academia or something. It's like super like cartoony looking. And I'm like, how do I do that? All right. And so like last year, basically, like almost probably a year ago when we were talking, I was like, I really have to come up with and it's been taking a long time to kind of to work on this style. And because it's been a whole new approach, a whole new thing. It's like I'm drawing, I don't know. I'm taking a lot of time just to learn this new style.
Yeah.
Just
this is such an interesting conversation because I've been doing something very similar. It's like I've been trying to minimize what I'm doing. Like I feel like my art is like too detailed, and I spend so much time on detail. And I was like looking at like Hellboy, and I'm looking at Mike Mignolia's work, and it's like very simple, but it still tells a story. And it's still like everything is placed in the right spot that makes the picture attractive and makes the page flow. And getting there, it's like, gee, it seems like detailing is easier for me than doing something simple or that appears to be simple, you know?
Right.
But it's really not. It's very, very complex.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's easy when we're starting out to learn detail, and then makes it like masks the flaws in our abilities, you know. But you can figure out details pretty quickly, and learn how to just add more and more and more. But reducing it down to the essentials is really hard.
Right.
You know.
No, that's what I noticed.
And you know, I still wrestle with my anatomy, even, you know, and with certain things, you know. It's funny. I started going through cognitive drawing because I've promised 90 lesson videos where I actually go through all the exercises, and I'm like, man, this is really good for me.
Dude. I was like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I'm doing. like when you were mentioning this like a long time ago, even, like I didn't realize it. I was like, nah, whatever. This isn't. But actually, like that's what I've been doing. I've been going through that like little by little. With the hands, with the body, with the neck, I've been redoing it in this cartoony way. Yeah. Anyways, but I thought that was like that's the way you do it. It's just like
I think so.
Do you find it more challenging?
Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
Do
you find it more challenging to do it in a cartoony style than in like a more detailed or realistic style?
Yeah, so far, yes, it's just training my brain to stay simple, like to do it simply, to just don't go too much into this. Like I have, like, for example, I'll show you. Let's see here. Wait, do I even have it open right here? Let's see. Wait, Jason, can I show this?
I don't know. What is it?
The Keo.
it's an all friendly, all ages stream.
Oh no, not that type of. I mean,
That's what I thought he meant.
the pitch thing.
Oh,
No?
sure, yeah. No one
Okay.
knows anything about it, so.
Okay, so like this right here, like drawing like this, has been very difficult. Like, see, like the coat here, just doing this.
Yeah.
And the coat's back there, and no detail in the hair, and just like kind of just shapes. That's all it is.
Right,
Even though it does look really detailed, but it's like this took me a while to like just make sure that I'm just keeping this as simple as I possibly can. But at the same time, see, I like the folds, and I'm like, I like doing that.
Yeah,
Like that.
You can tell you know how to draw all that stuff realistically because the lines all make sense. You know?
Right.
And it's so neat because of that.
Yeah. See, like this, like right here, the collar.
Yeah.
Right, and your instinct is to add like shading and.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. Like
I'm
that's
struggling with this.
Yeah.
It's real funny. I'm struggling because I'm starting a webtoon and I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to like minimize.
Yeah.
It's driving me nuts. I'm like, right. I can draw a portrait of someone, you know, and make it very realistic, and that's easy. But drawing something that should be, you know, quote unquote simple, is totally difficult. Difficult.
Yeah, that's what I'm having with work. One of the things that we have to do is so based off of this old video series, there was an artist that had already done it, and she's not a very good artist, but she did this really simple style to just get the work done quick, like so she can just get it out of the way. But it still, like, if you try to draw something like that, like really bad, it still takes a long time because you gotta, I don't know, everything's got to look like that, and you got to make sure you don't deviate or something like that. Anyways, so now I have to recreate that in a way, but I can't. Instinct kind of comes in where I want to draw the characters and stuff a specific way. And who's got a radio?
I know she got mad at me. It might be my wife. Hold on, I'll mute myself.
Okay.
She's on a phone call. She's working from home. Let me just mute.
All right, I forgot what I was saying.
The girl that was doing the style that was simple.
Oh, right. And what were we talking? The first thing, the question in the beginning was, I kept thinking about the conversation.
Unmute yourself again, Jim.
Yeah, unmute yourself really fast and then unmute it.
Simplicity. We're talking about simplicity.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay. So got it. So I'm having a hard time drawing like bad. Like I'm trying, it's actually really bad. Like the art is bad. And if I try to get if it looks a little good, that I get chastised. I get punished for that. You know, like, like, actually, Anthony, this is good. I really like it. It's like a whole other world, but you need to step it back a little. Anyways. It's very funny. It's just very funny. And it's been the biggest struggle at work right now, but right now things are going well. So things are going good. I'm doing okay. My art's looking as bad at work. So
you're doing good at drawing. Yeah.
Yes. Right. Got it. That is my predicament.
I was in that situation when I did a lot of stuff for motion design studios. They would just be like, you need to draw like you're a high school kid that's drawing in their notebook instead of polishing it like you are, or you need to not know how to draw it right.
Right.
So I'd get away with it by drawing with my left hand instead of my right hand on some projects, and just to kind of dumb it down a little bit, like not have the muscle memory.
Right.
And it was really weird.
Yeah, see, it's just so funny. It's just so funny. And then they never approached me about some stuff there. But like they never approached me to come up with like, we're coming up with these videos, and so, hey, do you have any styles that you might want to do? You have any way that you want to do this? And what is it? They didn't even come up with that, like to make it a little bit more fun. And I even brought that up in a meeting or something. And then they like, and I said, look, it's just, next time it would be cool if you did this, just let us know, and maybe we can come up with something so it'll be much more fun to do. And and but no, then I got in trouble for like even saying that or something. Like they said, well, look, the client wants this, okay? Like it's what the client wants.
Yeah.
I said, I don't even know if the client knows what they even have or what these videos can be capable of doing. Anyways, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about. So
that's not, no, I think that's how it always is with client work.
Yeah, right.
You know,
I mean, like, yeah, this is what she gave them, and like the original artist. And I'm like, why don't we just keep it like, and she just wanted to be really simple. She did it this way, and they loved it. They love that. Okay, so let's do it this way. Let's do it another way. Let's see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Anyways, but no.
But
so I'm just gonna. But it's a good job. I'm gonna stick it out.
Yeah. Oops.
Said in the comments, said, you struggle to draw bad? What? What? I wish I had that issue.
Yeah. It's like learning to ride a bike. Like once you've learned to ride a bike, you can't just ride it. You can't wreck,
Yeah, you can't ride
like wobble around.
It's I know, right? Like wobble. Yeah, exactly. You can't write it wrong now. It's like, but it's I don't know. Like I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm like drawing and trying to think.
Yeah.
At the same time, like what you were just saying earlier. See, like I'm already done storyboarding this. I have it all just laid out.
Oh, let me
still can't think.
Oh, here. What's this job that you're working on? Or you don't need to say the job if you can't.
No, I work for the Daily Wire.
The Daily Wire. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, is that Ben Shapiro's thing?
Yep.
Oh wow.
I work for. And so I just do thumbs.
Does he give you the direct notes and say, I don't like this?
No.
No.
No. No.
It's the creative team, right?
Yeah. So we have like all the other producers, and they're the ones that they'll come to us and have to stick to the branding, and that's it.
Yeah.
So right now I just do thumbs, and then I do illustrations for. We have a company. I don't know their company. I don't know what to call them, but they want us to do a series of videos for them and their cases. So, and we're just doing illustrations, and someone does a narration for it, and I do the illustrations for it. And Andrew Clavin, the other host that was there, he did his own book, and I drew out the thumbs for every week. And so I have a bunch of illustrations that were pretty fun to do, heavily edited, but it was it was still fun to do because it was still like an original thing.
Yeah, that sounds great. It does sound like it's a good job to have.
It was a lot of fun. Now it's over, but it'll something else will come up. Sure.
There's a question in the chat with C9 from Richard Smith. With C19 out there, how will it affect the small-time comicers? Thoughts?
Nothing. I don't think it's gonna. I think you just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I think just it's not going to do anything. Especially like I was talking to you, Jason, about I was mentioning about that like you made that video like Hollywood is, just death. They want all sorts of content, and then this happens, and then they get shut down for like a certain amount of time, and then they talk about other. But no, I don't think it. I think you just keep going.
Yeah,
just keep doing it. Just keep making the content. Just keep making the book. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't affect anything I'm doing, and I mean I have a lot of friends in Hollywood, and everyone's just either working at home right now, and that's the one thing we always wanted to do is at DreamWorks. I always wanted to go home and just do it faster and easier on my own computer and and just get it done and then have some free time,
right?
Instead of hanging out at the office all day long for no reason at all. So it's kind of like it's almost better for getting the stuff done. You don't have to worry about 3 meetings that are happening during the day because none of them can happen, and they're all pointless meetings. You just get the work done, and then you present it, and then that's all. That's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
So, and then it seems like, as far as talking to different executives, it's kind of like everyone's expecting it to just bounce back immediately. Everyone's still making stuff. And I mean, certain things are getting suspended or put on hold and stuff, but the idea is that it's just going to bounce back stronger, once people can actually get back in and do things,
Right.
So I don't think it changes the fact at all that they're desperate for content.
Right. Still, people are, they're still making the shows. The shows are coming out.
I mean, my friend texts me and he's like, "Hey, there's an art director position and a biz dev position at this studio I'm at. Can I apply you for it?" And I'm like, let me make sure that my campaign's not going to fail miserably. If my campaign fails miserably, I might say yes. But it's just, and they're not wanting me to move to LA, it's just do it from home. I think studios and everybody's kind of realizing that, hey, this works just fine too, having people just doing it from home.
Yeah, my job works perfectly at home. I have better stuff here anyway.
Exactly.
I have everything I can work on is all here, so it's
cheaper.
Great.
It's cheaper for the studios too. They don't have to maintain all this stuff.
Yeah.
Feed you lunch if it's that kind of a studio.
Another question for you, Jason, from John Gum Comics. How many pages are you away from your first Phobos graphic novel?
Well, I haven't been able to work on it a whole lot this year, but I'm estimating about 80 more pages on this one, and then I'll have and I'm planning on a 300 pager instead of a 500 pager. Doug Tenable convinced me to not go as big. He had a lot of points that kind of convinced me to put it out as 200 to 300 page books instead. And so that's my goal, is to get 300 pages done, which would be a really simple story arc of Anainik getting landing this job with this mad scientist. And it kind of just sets up everything else to keep going from there. And okay, so you asked how long. I'm going to try to work on it while cognitive drawing is the campaign's happening. And I'm going to try to get like a page done or a spread at least drawn every day, if possible. And if that's the case, then I should be able to get it at least all drawn by the time the campaign's done. Because Phobos is my final project that I have been working on for. Okay, let me restate that. I've had a lot of projects that I've been trying to finish and wrap up and get out there, and I had a big list of them this year that I was going to finish. Children's books, different things. horror novel, cognitive drawing, all these different things. And Phobos is one of the last remaining ones that I want to release this year. And so it's it's still my goal to get it kickstarted probably within a 6-month period from now. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Yeah. And if Phobos doesn't work, so let's say all my campaigns don't bring in a whole lot of money to where it can pay me for the next year, then I might start accepting some of these freelance jobs temporarily just to fill the bank account back up. But there is another project I really want to. I'm actually thinking of trying to get an agent for it to pitch it as to like a bigger publisher, and just see if there's interest in that before I start it as an independent comic. So I'm going to try to do that later this year too. Just pitch this new idea and see if anyone cares. And if no one cares, then I'll start working on it as like my own thing again, an indie book. And I'll pitch it on Kickstarter and see if I can raise the money to do it and all that stuff. So I guess I answered your question, but I talked about 5 other things too. How's your comic going, John? Do you want to come on the stream? Oh wait, you're at work. Never mind. You guys, John Gum is making this comic that's pretty awesome.
Oh, cool.
Once he gets it done, we'll show it off on my channel a little bit. He was one of the CGMA guys who took my class this last time. All right, John, I might be giving away too much information. You probably don't want me to say all this, do you? Stop talking, Jason.
Richard Smith asked, do you still work with an editor on the script for Phobos?
Not well, I do. So before it goes to print, I'll send it to my friend Jeremy Barlow to kind of just read it through, and he'll give me his notes and stuff. But it's a pretty easy relationship because we're friends, and he kind of has a lot of the same sensibilities, I guess. Like he gets what I'm trying to do with it because he was around from the very beginning. We were friends as teenagers, and so he saw the early Phobos, and so yeah. So I feel like I can trust him with what I'm trying to do, and he won't take it too seriously either. But he has great ideas that add to the stupidness. So yeah, I have to though. I really have to have an editor look at things because I just make so many mistakes with the text and stuff. It's more about the cleaning up the text problems than it is about making the story work. Because I'm pretty confident with the story the way I'm putting it together, especially Phobos, because it doesn't have to have all the knots tied perfectly, and it doesn't have to have everything doesn't have to pay off perfectly like a movie Hollywood script, So again, it's just about making it an enjoyable thing for me to work on and for people to see and read. Man, I'm slowing down to like a crawl right now. It's because I want to. Okay, this is what I need to do. I need to start just cleaning this. Yeah. Let me get a reference picture.
Yeah, I think I'm following you, right, Jim? Yeah.
Are you?
On Instagram. Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, you have all that. I think we both are. We're both following. I think so. A while back. I was just trying to remember. I was like, Jim O'Reilly. That's right. And you have all that really detailed. Yeah, we were just talking about the detailed work. That's right.
Yeah, we're talking about it right now, and I'm looking at this piece I'm doing right now, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not learning much.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I got my pencils down into their bare bone shapes and all that kind of stuff, and so I'm trying to keep it at that. And then I'll just when I ink it, it'll get even simpler, hopefully.
I just get more complex when that starts happening. I'm laughing because I feel the pain.
Yeah. When I'm approaching this approaching this as well. I remember like Jason, your streams where you were just kind of like what is it, freehand, like you were just like editing and drawing and editing, and it's very simple, like the things that that you were doing and stuff. But I was trying to take that where like instead of just worrying about the reference constantly trying to take a picture or something, I'm trying to just draw it. Just draw the picture, move on. If it's like really that important, okay, fine, take a picture or something. But
exactly.
I try to not do the reference, try not to always. So I used to. I remember when I never would ever do reference. I would never even think about even trying to sort of like if it really was hard or something, or like it's something I never even thought about tracing or something. I never thought about anything using any models or something, and I would just I would do that all the time, and then eventually I just when the workflow got so much, I had to like cut some corners.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to retrain my brain.
Yeah, I think Remind was all retraining my brain because I did 20 years or 15 years or so of storyboarding and commercial type artwork. And it was when I stepped back into comics trying to get into it. It's not like I ever was into it, but I always wanted to get into comics before, but when I stepped back into trying to do it, it was really a big struggle to figure out exactly what it is that my style was, like what's my style? I've been doing everyone else's style for so long and imitating other, art directors trying to do.
Right. Sorry if you hear that outside noise. Is that too loud, right?
It's not loud. It's not loud.
Lawn?
Someone's like mowing the lawn, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like a weed eater or something?
You're there, somebody's getting
No, it's like doing a leaf blower.
Leaf blower.
Here, I'll show you the I'll screen share again. Here, check this out, Jason.
Okay. Bing.
So that's the latest seasons page.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So you see and even when I was doing I get like super, like this part even right here, where he's supposed to be like kind of lifting up the house.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. And there's somebody underneath. But I was like
gorgeous.
Trying. I can get way too far into the details with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes down to the to drawing the with the digital stuff, because I can get, I don't know.
Oh yeah, you can zoom
really zoom in as far as I can.
Yeah.
So that's how.
It looks so good though.
Oh yeah, man, I was having.
Can you zoom in a little bit on those bottom panels?
Right here, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So right there.
That's great.
Yeah, the gradient. I was like, oh, I could use gradients. I could be like a manga artist.
Now, do you find yourself like trying to sometimes over detail with the gradients? Because that's what I found I was doing.
Yeah.
It's like I went in, I'm like, yeah, simple line work. Now I'll just mess it up with gradients.
Right, exactly. And when I figured out that I can do this too, where see how like they're bigger, and I'm like, oh, I can mess around with that. I can. Because one of my favorite artists too is like James Heron, and he's done like Rumble and stuff, and he does this like he has some interesting little touches like that with the shadow, and then he'll put like the big gradient like that over it, but his is like all traditional. And I'm like, I love that. And I did that on the end of Seasons book 1. I did that a lot, where I started adding the gradient like that. But yeah, so now I'm trying not to get too carried away with the detail.
I love that perspective in the third panel. The upshot. That's cool.
Oh, this part right
here.
Yeah. I was like, because this panel, like what was being said and what was being done here, I was like, because we're on like a time crunch, we're trying to get this done like pretty quick, and this page took a while because I was doing other stuff as well. But I was trying to make it much more interesting. I'm like, oh, if I just have it popped out like that, that'll like just bring some like pizzazz to the page.
Gorgeous work.
Thanks, man.
Wow. All right, I'm gonna go into my corner. I'm gonna go break all my crayons. Cry.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. Seriously, I do need to step out. Jason, thank you for hosting and having me on.
Yeah, no
Appreciate
problem.
Oh, same here. It's getting close to 12:30. I gotta get off as well. But yeah, nice talking to you, Jim. And
sounds good.
Thanks, Jason.
Nice talking to you.
On.
Yeah. Well, I might wrap it up then.
All right, dude.
I'll sign off. Well, thanks everyone for watching online.
See you later.
Be safe.
Bye.